Well, hello everybody. Thanks for visiting me at OG's garage. Today I'm going to be working on some coils on this Mercedes ML320, spark wires, spark plug wires, and the spark plugs. Okay, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, everybody should know that this cover snaps off of here. And that would be the first thing you want to do, and just jiggle it around a little bit, it'll come off. Alright, just put that aside. If you're interested in the firing order on this Mercedes ML320, it's a 1998, so what you want to do is right there by your dipstick, right on the cover, you'll be able to see the firing order on this vehicle. It's 1, 4, 3, looks like a 6, 2, 5. You'll be able to see it better if you look at, it. Also, if you're interested in the order of your spark plugs, it starts out here by your dipstick. It's 1 in the center is 2, the one in the back is 3. Go to the other side in the front. The one in the front is 4, the one in the center is 5, and the one way in the back is 6. If you analyze it, it will tell you which plug usually is bad, misfiring, and that's when you have to do the testing on this. Well, like I say, you have these two clips over here, one on the top, one on the bottom. This unit here comes right out. You have a little pipe comes off of here. You'll be able to finagle that. That will come out of there too. So let me just show you how it comes in there. Get this thing out of here. Hang on for a second. There it goes, coming out of here. And once you get that end out, and that other end slips right off of here, you'll see. And once you do that, you'll be able to see your plug wires down there and your coils, and you have your spark plugs right there. Now, if your plugs have been sitting there not being changed for 100,000 miles, I would suggest you get yourself these pliers. You can get them, they're hose removers actually, but I'm telling you, they work real good in taking these metal boots off here. All you gotta do is kind of grab those, twist them around a little bit, and they pull right off, and expose your plug down in there. So I would suggest you go buy yourself these pliers. You get them at well, you get them in the auto stores, but you can go ahead and get them at Harbor Freight, and they're like $10–15, but they'll save your ass if you have to sit here and try and pull these out by your hand. I mean, they're really tough. Sometimes they're really hard to get out, and if they haven't been changed, like I said, for a long time, they're really a bear. So you can go ahead and pull all your plugs out. Don't worry too much about mixing these up, because they're marked right there on your coils. And A is usually the front one here, number 1 plug, and B is the next one over on your number 1 plug. Don't forget, on each one of these cylinders, you have two wires going through there. You'll see the second one on the bottom. So you got one on the top and one on the bottom, just like that diagram shows you there, A and B. Same thing on your second, on each one of these. A goes to the front one and B goes to the second one. A goes to the front one, B goes to the second. Same on the other side. So you're not gonna get, you can mark them if you want. I mean, if it's gonna confuse you, but I don't think you really have to. So now, if you're just gonna change your wires, these come right off, okay? And I'll show you. I'm gonna back this up here a little bit, and you can just go ahead and replace them just like there. So what happens is this comes off of the boot on this side, and this snaps right onto your plug on the other side, okay? So now the only thing I would say is when you put these wires back on here, make sure you hear that snap, and snap these in right back in there. Just go ahead and do that to every plug, and then you'll be all set. You don't have to worry too much about this. So, okay, and here you go. When you put these on here, never grab the wire. Always make sure you grab the boot, the metal boot, and snap it on there. Don't just put it in there. You got to snap them on there. Okay. So that's pretty much all you have to really do on these. It's really simple to work on these coils and these plugs. All you have to do is do it. And like I say, okay, for some reason, if you want to remove your coil, all you need's a Torx number 27, and there's a single screw that comes right off, and all you have to do is disconnect it. A little bolt holds that in there. A single bolt. The coil pack comes off. All you have to do is disconnect your wire and disconnect the plug wires, and that comes right off. Okay. So if you're going to change that, it's simple enough to do. You don't have to. It's not too complicated. Okay. I'm not changing that today, right now. I might have to do that in the future. These coils do go bad on you, so. Alright, and make sure you tighten that up. Make sure that, now, all you have to do to take these off is squeeze these little clips here, and make sure when you put them on there that clip snaps right back in there, and making good contact. Alright, that makes sense. So that's the whole system right there. Now what I'm doing right now is checking the spark on this plug. And I don't know if you can see that plug spark in there. I just wanted to make sure. And all I did was pull that plug wire off, and I put an old plug on here. And you can see that it's the coil is sparking that spark plug. Now, if you want, you can do that to every one of them. But if your analyzer is telling you that it's a particular one, or it's misfiring, that's one way to check that spark wire, the plug. Okay. If you're not getting a spark on your wire, on your spark plug, that doesn't mean your coil is bad. Could be your wire is bad. Maybe you have to replace the wire. And if you're sure your wire is good, you might have to replace the coil. Now when you're checking these, when you're checking your spark out, you have to make sure that your spark plug rests against the, it has to be grounded, otherwise it won't spark. And whatever you do, don't hold it in your hand. You don't want to be holding that in your hand because you're going to get a shock. So make sure that it's grounded. Don't touch it. Just leave it against your block. Check it that way. Shut your engine off and then replace that wire. Again, make sure it snaps in there. Just don't lay it in there. It has to snap onto your plug. Well, I hope the video kind of helped you out a little bit and you know, with your problem. There again, I mean, it could be the coils, could be the plugs, could be the wires, could be the little connectors too, you know, the little wiring there. So you have to troubleshoot all that stuff. So I hope this pointed you in the right direction, at least gave you a little insight of how that works in there and how things come apart on your vehicle. So thanks again for visiting me at OG's Garage, and we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.